We have everything driving properly, but we have a pretty boring test track here. So let's just do a few things to make it more interesting. So we can actually add some passive rigid bodies. We can add a ramp. So let's move our cursor to the world origin. Oops. World origin. There we go. And let's just make a cube here. I'm going to make sure, before I do that, I'm going to make sure I'm in the collection, the main collection there. And now I can do mesh. We're going to do cube. I'm going to scale it up a little bit, move it down here. And I'm going to rotate it about the X some and move it down along the Z. And there's a pretty simple, quick ramp. Maybe I'll rotate it a little bit more about the X and move it up some. Okay, but we need to make it a rigid body, so let's do that and make it passive. And we can up the friction a little bit if we want. Okay, so we have a ramp. And that should work, but let's also make some, you can also sculpt some features. So let's do that. Save it. And let's go ahead and apply the scale to our ground here, scale. And then we can go into sculpt mode. Select the ground, go into sculpt mode. And you probably want to turn on Dyn Topo. And I like to, I'm not the best sculptor, but I like to use clay strips. And you can just kind of add some bumps and stuff to it. And we'll see how it handles that. You can also add like a hole. We increase the strength some. So we can add some holes in the ground. Yeah, whatever you want. Maybe crevice here. You know, stuff like that. So the possibilities are pretty much endless, what you can do, and it actually handles it pretty well. It won't, at least on my computer, it doesn't seem to drop frames. So if you do sculpt it, make sure that the collision shape is a mesh and that you reduce the margin down to 0. All right, let's try this out. Come into here. I'm going to turn off the rig and let's try and drive it. I need my controller though. All right, I'm going to save it and let's see what happens. We can go over this jump here. Not going very fast, but you can see it works. But we do need to do some suspension tuning.